The Tower of Babel in the Bible is a fun sentence to say.
Would it be so bad if an 84-year-old got into heroin?
Welcome to the Cat Organizational Podcast.
You idiot. It's written down in front of you idiot.
This is like the buffalo chicken wrap of answers.
I haven't heard about hot orcs in a while.
We were so horny for motion controls in 2005.
I can't wait to come back and tell you how it was Noah's Ark, you asshole.
I would also like to retroactively say I've never had cotton candy acid.
So Andrew's 100% doing a voice, right?
Everybody get off IMDb now. Time to record.
This episode and probably this whole podcast is a mistake. Hello and welcome to Debate This, the show where no one is right, but someone is definitely wrong. In this show we talk about comic books, video games, and how Scott Summers, Logan, and Jean Grey is the polyamorous relationship we need in 2020.
Man,
That sounds like a bad example. I don't think that's a good example.
That's a very unhealthy relationship for 2020.
the X-Mansion blueprints show that their rooms all connect. Also, I got
Ugh.
kind of drunk at a party last night and showed people a Twitter thread discussing this in great detail. So I think I've lost some friends.
Great detail.
You know that meme that's like no one, absolutely no one ever, and then something wild. I was the something wild pointing at graphs and charts.
My favorite version of Drunk Todd is Drunk Todd yelling about comic books.
Guys, it's episode 50.
Hooray!
Holy shit.
We made it.
We did it.
Look at us. Who would have thought?
Not me.
Not me.
All four of us made it too. I thought one of us was gonna die.
Well,
Todd got pretty close a couple times.
it's true.
Todd got bird flu.
Went to New
He
Zealand.
went to New Zealand.
Those two things weren't connected, just so everyone knows.
Oh yeah, this is kind of a bad time to joke about it right now.
Todd is not currently on quarantine with coronavirus.
Yeah.
It's fine.
He says in his blanket fort that is definitely not a sterile tarp.
Well, I wouldn't call it sterile.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
So episode 50, and guys, we had a lot of options we could have gone with for our topic du jour for episode 50. We have a lot of video game franchises that we really like here.
Do we though?
Todd's got Halo. I mean, not as many as
We have
you
a
would
couple.
think, but
Yeah.
Todd really likes Halo. I've got Pokemon. We all play Smash. But no franchise has really come close to being the Debate This favorite. Quite like the raddest, baddest, most extreme dude in gaming, Mr. Gotta Go Fast himself, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Extreme spelled with a capital X, lowercase e, capital X, extreme.
That is the official Webster's spelling of extreme.
Any other spelling would be a disservice to our boy in blue.
As you were giving the drum roll of our favorite franchises, all that stuck in my head was the 3.5 hours Andrew talked about Kingdom Hearts. And that some of that knowledge is still in my head and it won't go away.
Man, I'm glad you went to the 3.5 hours of Kingdom Hearts and not the 3 hours of Five Nights at Freddy's.
That felt better.
Did it though?
That felt different.
Not better, just different.
We'll agree to disagree, Todd. So we're going to talk about Sonic this episode, everyone. So if you're not here for that, you can log out, I guess. I don't know.
If you're not here for that,
Who
get
are
this
you?
show off your queue right now. Get out of here. We don't want you.
But no Hedgehog is an island, boys. And Sonic owes much of his success to his supporting characters.
It's like a John Mayer title. No hedgehog is an island.
I'm sorry. We should let
My
him get
body
through
is
this.
a wonderland.
Yeah, no, we got places to be.
I have zero interest in letting him get through this.
My point was that Sonic success does not stand on its own. He has a very colorful, wide cast of supporting characters to help him stay squarely in the middle where he is today in 2020. And that's who we're going to talk about today. But for every Knuckles and Tails, other household names we all know, there are 3 side characters that were in one game and then forgotten until they needed to fill up a roster on Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. And we here at Debate This feel those characters need their due. and that's what we're doing. So today I am joined by Todd Blue Blur Thomas, Matt Big Blue Cole, and Andrew the Blue Knave Henderson. And we are going to, based off the success of the live-action Sonic the Hedgehog movie, pitch a sequel starring one of the Sonic universe's oft-forgotten characters.
My headcanon is that all of our names are the names of roller coasters at theme parks.
My headcanon is that Todd's name is Blue Turd.
Oh, man. Kyle said it, and then he didn't. So, behind the screen magic, listeners, sometimes we do retakes of things. And when Kyle didn't say Blue Blur right, I'm like, maybe Kyle will do a retake. No, he's not. No, someone's going to call me Blue Turd. That's fine.
I said blue. I went back and corrected myself.
Yeah, I know,
didn't do
but
a
like
new
it's still there, and you left it for Andrew.
Well,
that's the thing, because like I would have cut it out, but then Andrew said something, so now I gotta leave
now
it
it's
in.
locked in, baby.
All right.
so guys, what B-list Sonic character deserves to star in the next Sonic movie? Please give a healthy description of them for our less sonically inclined listeners. Why you think they're the best choice, even over some of the other more popular A-list characters. Todd.
Yeah, Kyle, there are dozens of throwaway characters is definitely an understatement, because there's probably closer to like 100, unless you go into like the Archie comics, which roll real deep with weird rosters.
You could fill out a whole like Super Smash Bros. Roster just on Sonic characters.
You absolutely could do that, yes.
And half of them would end with the Hedgehog.
Yes.
Well, The good news is that I'm going to give you another one of those, because I'm going to focus on one that is a more recent addition, but definitely deserves an upgrade to the big screen. So I'm talking about the hero / partial temporary antagonist at one time when he was introduced, Silver the Hedgehog, from everyone's favorite Sonic game, which is, yes, everyone all together, Sonic 2006.
Adventure Battle 2.
Oh, well.
The power of friendship.
Yep, there it is. Good. So to tell you a little bit about Silver, so one, his skin is gray, and he kind of looks like a head.
Wait.
Yeah.
Nope. I'm gonna let you finish.
Yeah, thank
Stop
you.
right there.
Yeah.
His name is Silver,
Please
and
say
his
Silver.
skin is gray.
So oftentimes when you're in a debate and you know people are gonna say bad things about you, you say it before they can. So here it is. Anyway, it's fine. So he definitely has that traditional hedgehog look, but his like hedgehog fur is like more flowy. I think the internet thinks it looks like a pot leaf. I don't know. It's fine.
Wow, it does. It looks a lot like a pot leaf. Yes.
He is Dragon Ball Z. Like he
Mm-hmm.
he is Dragon Ball Z of this.
He is further evidence of like the Venn diagrams of Dragon Ball Z and Sonic merging into that circle.
To run with that some more. So he is from the future, Kyle. At least in one of his backgrounds. It gets kind of weird because there's competing backgrounds to his story, but he's from the future.
Actually,
put it
there
away.
are alternate
Put it away.
timelines.
Put it away.
Where
Put it away.
there's definitely a few alternate futures. So
well, so if there's one thing we have learned, Kyle, it is that time travel is all the rage right now, as made relevant in the most recent Avengers movie. So if we're talking about alternate timelines in the multiverse, which is I think what Andrew said, this fits right into all of that. Also, Kyle, he flies, which there's only like one other good flying character, and it's already introduced into Sonic, spoiler alert, for the end credit stinger. And so
wait. There's one Sonic flyer.
There's
They
one
all,
good.
Don't they all fly?
Wait. No, who's the good one?
I would say
Tom?
Tails is a good Sonic flying character.
So Knuckles isn't good.
That's gliding. That is gliding.
What does Rouge the Bat
gliding
do?
and flying are the same
Rouge
thing.
the gliding and
What about Ray the Flying Squirrel? He flies.
He also glides.
That was a bad example.
And
Let's
is
go
bad.
back to Rouge.
He flies. He goes up.
Rouge glides.
I'm doing this thing with my hands.
No,
Is it connecting to the audio?
Andrew,
Tom,
no. I'm gonna go
to
Andrew first, then I'm gonna go Matt. Andrew, he's a flying squirrel. When you see a flying squirrel in real life, do you see that it actually flies like?
Does a hedgehog run at the speed of light in real life?
Yeah. Okay. and I'm gonna tell you how
do you see foxes spin their tails real fast and fly
I'm gonna tell you
around
a
in
fox
real
with two
life?
tails, but flying as in going upwards can manage its height vertically without having to use momentum to go
Yeah,
vertical.
he does like up and down. I'm
but
doing
using
another thing again with my
using his
arm.
momentum to do so. Anyway, Kyle, the point is,
Wait,
yeah,
you said
okay,
you'd come back
fine.
to me and
I'm
you
done
skipped
dunking
me.
on Andrew. Matt, what do you have?
Rouge the Bat flies. Rouge the Bat does not glide.
Rouge the Bat glides in the game that you cited earlier on in this debate podcast.
Todd, Rouge the Bat has wings.
Yeah, they're like
By
Hot
nature,
Topic
she flies.
designer wings, and they are for gliding.
Todd, she's a bat.
What?
By your
She's literally a
stupid logic, 2 seconds ago, bats fly in real life.
Yeah.
Okay, that is valid. But these are not. This is not what she does in Sonic Adventure 2 battle. She glides just like Knuckles does, just like the Chaos Gooey dude does. Like they all just glide. So that's not even flying. Anyway, let me get through the rest of this because it matters. So we need to beef up the flying roster team. Also, Kyle, he has telekinetic powers, which is awesome. That is important. That's cool. That's necessary. We like it. Also, further, as I said earlier, his backstory has been explained in like 3 different ways. So we've got a lot of source material to make a good story to fit into the current cinematic universe. Also, by the time we're bringing Silver in, we're going to have tried to do a Shadow standalone movie that's going to not gone all that well. And so
Todd, I am going to stop you. The conceit of this question is that this is the very next movie.
Oh, well then. Scratch that last part. Silver's gonna dunk, and then the third one with Shadow is gonna bomb. Anyway, Silver is going to be that next platform developed, and to tie it into the current canon that we do have, his mentor is a large anthropomorphic mammoth named Mammoth Mogul, which runs
That's not real.
No, it's very real. And it runs a really nice parallel with, what was her name? Longclaw? Was that it?
Mammoth Mogul is my favorite Mega Man X boss.
yeah.
Now, Todd, in real life, mammoths aren't actually moguls. Is that going to be a problem?
Wait, what? One more time? I did. Okay.
In real life, mammoths aren't actually a mogul of anything.
Oh,
they don't.
Yeah, they can't even trade on the New York
They're not
Stock
a captain of
Exchange.
industry. They don't buy, sell, trade stocks. They're just.
I mean, we are in a world where we're letting fake bat wings fly. So we're just really
What do you mean
logic's
fake
out
bat
the window.
wings? She's a very real fake bat, but the wings are the real part.
The last bit, Kyle, is that the coolest thing about Silver is that he can open portals through time using the power of the Chaos Emeralds. Now, Kyle, do you know where he learned that ability from?
The future.
Probably the
future. Not the mammoth, in the future, from a descendant of Knuckles. So, like, you've got a way that it ties into the canon right now. Silver is just a good choice that fits very nicely. It would have fit even nicer had Shadow already bombed in a movie, but that's okay. We're still going to go with it. We'll leave that one on the cutting room floor, him and his guns and his motorcycle.
All right. That's certainly a
Good.
character. Matt, do you have anything better?
Yeah, I think I do. I think I do have something better. Silver the Hedgehog feels to Sonic 2006 the way that Mace Windu felt to Star Wars, where it was like, this character doesn't really matter, but he looks cool and it's Samuel L. Jackson, so I guess we'll keep him in the movie and make his lightsaber purple.
Hold on, Matt.
Yeah.
Let me go back to Todd real quick. Todd,
Yeah.
are you open to Samuel L. Jackson voicing Silver the Hedgehog?
100%.
Okay, Matt, back to you.
Yeah.
Okay, if Samuel L. Jackson is in, slightly more interested in Silver the Hedgehog. Not like significantly, but definitely slightly more interested. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about Silver.
Are you sure? Keep going. You're doing a good job.
No, I'm doing better than you, but that's a really low bar to stumble over. Listen, the Sonic canon has a lot of great teams. You have Team Heroes with our titular blue Hedgehog, Tails, and Knuckles. Team Dark with... Thank you. Team Dark with Shadow, Rouge, and Omega. Or Rouge, or Rogue.
Rouge.
I don't know.
Batwings.
Rouge, sure.
Rouge.
Team Rose with Amy, Big,
It's
and
pronounced
Cream.
Rogue.
It's definitely pronounced Rouge. It's 100% pronounced Rouge. It's not even spelled the same way as Rogue, you weirdo.
Debatable.
Team Rose with Amy, Big, and Cream. And of course, you have Team Chaotix with Vector and those two fucking other guys. But they all pale in comparison to the Babylon Rogues.
Amy, Big, and Cream is my favorite MTV stunt prank show.
Yes, got it.
What?
We got there.
Big and Cream.
Anyway,
They tried to do Tractor Rap album, but it did not go very well.
you got me with Tractor Rap.
Big and Cream is whatever evolved from Robin Big, but I don't really know what Cream is. It's just whatever evolved from it.
I can't take credit for Tractor Rap. That was forwarded to me from my wife, my wife's boss. His husband sent a video of the latest Vanilla Ice single.
That can only be described as tractor rap.
Tractor Rap. Yep. And that is, I'm gonna just leave that there, and we're gonna move on.
Wow, I did not think it was possible for someone to talk about something that made the words Babylon Rouge sound, or Babylon Rogues sound cooler, but then you said Tractor Rap, and here we are. So let's talk about the Babylon Rogues, which is a very real team name that I absolutely did not make up. No character embodies the attitude, skills, and most importantly, the edge of the Rogues, quite like Jet the Hawk.
Ugh.
He is the legendary Windmaster and the best extreme gear rider there is. Now, Todd thinks being from the future is cool or whatever, but
is.
what about being the direct descendant of an alien race of genie-like beings who harness the power of a black hole into the ring that
What?
powered their world-sized spaceship?
What?
Huh?
What about it?
Doesn't that sound great?
Sounds
Genie-like
confusing.
alien
It
beings
sounds convoluted.
who put a black hole into a ring and then used it to power their world-sized spaceship?
How?
Matt, I do feel it's important to impress upon you. You have about an hour and a half run time to tell the whole story you're trying to tell.
Yeah. He's that cool. He's that kind of cool. Yeah, thanks, Kyle. I'm glad you agreed with me. He's definitely that kind of cool. Anyway, he may be like an insufferable asshole at times, but he's also dedicated to playing fair. So he'll be a great role model for kids
Great.
and stuff. Yep. Descendant of alien-like genie beings. Or genie-like alien beings?
Oh,
I'm
he looks
not
like
sure.
a fucking nerd.
Whoa.
You know
Whoa.
what's great about your choice of Jet the Hawk, Matt, is that I too loved the Superman movie Man of Steel because it was 2 hours of just exposition, and that's what made it really, really good.
I have been really angry about a lot of things in this podcast, but the fact that you had the audacity to relate me to Man of Steel, you bitch, Todd.
I feel like Jet the Hawk would be the mascot for like the Pizza Hut Book It campaign.
He really
Do your homework,
Man.
kids. It's cool to stay in school.
that really hits the nail on the head. Like it really
Yeah.
looks like a made-up mascot to encourage kids to do their homework on time.
Yeah, like
Right.
looking at the picture of Jet the Hawk on the Sonic Wiki page, it almost looks like he is handing a book it button to a child at a Pizza Hut. Like, congratulations, you read a book this month.
Yeah.
Jet the Hawk is the Will Smith rap joke from Family Guy. That's what it is.
So Matt, tell us more about this legendary Windmaster alien genie being.
Kyle, what more do you want to know? He is the best extreme gear rider that there is.
Extreme
period.
is extreme spelled with a lowercase e and the capital X.
No, not in canon.
Go on.
Okay, so he's the best extreme gear rider that there is, which is like the Sonic words for hoverboard. Extreme gear just means hoverboard. I don't really know why that is.
That overpriced toy from 3 years ago?
Yeah, similar but different and better. So Jet the Hawk also has a sweet team who I'm definitely going to talk about later, and they're all birds and they all steal things, and they're descendants of a genie-like alien race who harness the power of black holes and put them into rings to power their spaceships. What more do you need? What more?
A better character. To be fair, I would have said I'll say the same joke if Andrew uses the phrase "What more do you need?" But like, you know,
Well, Matt, I guess we'll find out when you tell us more about it, because you're withholding a lot of information apparently to get us
What
later.
information am I withholding? I told you more than Todd did. Todd was like, he's from the future.
Yeah.
And I said he's an extreme gear rider who's an alien descendant. I gave you the same amount of information.
You withheld all his team members, because apparently that's more important to come up later, and we still don't know what he does.
He rides extreme gear.
Extreme
and
gear,
he
Kyle.
steals things, Kyle. Damn it. Also, when have we ever cannibalized someone in this show for protecting the third act reveal?
I
Damn
don't
it.
know. There's the first time for everything, though, right?
Hey Kyle, can I say my dumb thing now?
Please do.
Cool. So when we were sharing all the characters, I was unfortunate enough to pick last, and in picking,
Don't you dare blame
Yeah, don't do that.
a
There are
fictitious
too
setup
many-
for what you are about to release into the universe.
In picking, I didn't want to pick something from the same like game or team as Matt puts it, because everything is in sets of threes now. So I did the proverbial, in case of emergency, break glass, and I looked up the Sonic comics, and oh boy, guys.
And Andrew disappeared for 3 days.
I don't remember that day. It was a day, and I don't remember it. I do remember leaving the message, "Here I stand on the precipice of my inevitable brain death." And 3 hours and 2 alternate universe reboots later, I found Scourge the Hedgehog.
It's so bad.
It's such a name.
Yep.
Why don't you tell us more
So
about Scourge?
I want little audience participation here. Anyone close to a computer or phone?
Are you going to
Please
point out
just look up-
the opening quote on his Sonic Wiki?
Probably, yes.
Because it's very good.
Please just, as the visual, look up Scourge the Hedgehog if you're near internet. What you're looking at is a green-looking hedgehog with sick-looking red sunglasses and a leather jacket with flames on it.
Is that like a double chest scar too?
I think it's an alligator tattoo.
Yeah,
I think it might literally be a tattoo of an
Yeah,
alligator.
It looks.
I think it is, which adds more mystique to what's going on here.
No,
There's layers.
it's a scar. If you click it,
Okay.
it's 2 scars.
It's 2 scars. Okay.
I liked it better when it was a mystery alligator tattoo.
It's probably in his time from the zone jail world, which is a world that lives at a 90-degree angle that sits perpendicular to all the other parallel universes. It's a perpendicular universe.
That doesn't make any sense.
I didn't make any of that up. I didn't make any of it up either. All right.
God, I hate
so
it.
let me back you up.
He looks like he smells like day-old cigarettes.
He certainly does.
But like,
He
but like
certainly
not good
does.
cigarettes, like Camel.
No.
Camel cigarettes
No.
from a gas
No.
station. Probably a Sunoco.
No,
He looks like wet day old cigarettes.
the off-brand ones.
Do Camel cigarettes smell differently if you buy them from a gas station compared to other places?
I mean, depending on the gas station.
I
Anyway.
hate what you're doing, but I'm gonna hate what Andrew does more.
I don't like this bit, but you're not gonna like this bit anymore. So let me
One
back
of
a
his
little bit. So-
nicknames is Mucus.
It's my turn now. All right, so we mentioned a little bit Shadow the Hedgehog. Shadow the Hedgehog were introduced in Sonic Adventure 2. The game opens with Shadow grinding down what is assumed to be the Golden Gate Bridge and wreaks havoc in what is absolutely, definitely not San Francisco. And we find that after these series of events, Sonic has been detained under the assumption that was actually Sonic doing all these things. So everybody just mistook Shadow for Sonic because they can't see colors. Well, and then there was this whole like, "I found you, faker!" You know, this whole like evil hedgehog storyline that permeates through the rest of the game. Well, I'm here to tell you that Sonic Archie comics had already done that storyline to this point years before that. And it was, way
And they
before,
did a really good job.
and they did a really, 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 really good job. They kind of took it in a more like Bizarro Superman direction. So the Sonic comics introduced this world called Anti-Mobius. Mobius being the world that all the Sonic characters live on.
No, that's too
And-
dumb. It's absolutely too
No,
dumb.
that's yeah.
Yeah. And on Anti-Mobius, Sonic met up with his evil twin, Anti-Sonic, who at the time was just an evil twin. He just looked like Sonic with like razor sharp teeth. Like they drew, instead of like lines, his teeth were just zigzags. You know?
That staple of like 90s villain drawing.
Yeah. Yeah, but as time progressed, you know, they pumped more content into Anti-Mobius and fleshed out all these characters and did a thing. And I'm going to pause there because I want to first, in order to explain the Sonic comic canon, you have to understand that there are not one but three different Secret Wars type events. So 3 times there was a thing called the Super Genesis Wave, which basically just like blew up and like consolidated a bunch of parallel universes together. And the first time they did it, kind of like blew a couple like alternate timelines out. And then the next 2 times were so ridiculous they had to bring in Mega Man and Dr. Wily for some reason because there's apparently a Mega Man comic. But the third of which was like called the Super Genesis. Or there's 3 Genesis waves, and this was the Super Genesis wave. This is what like undid a lot of other timelines, basically. So anyway, one of those timelines was Anti-Mobius, so they changed it to be Mobius with an E, so it's Moebius.
Mobius, Mo problems.
Why do I get the impression that the Sonic comic is written and curated with all the love and care of season 8 of Game of Thrones?
Right. It's very stupid. So anyway, after the series of events, we went from Anti-Mobius just being like an echo of normal Mobius to these characters getting a little more fleshed out. So Scourge becomes, or who was originally known as Anti-Sonic, turns green because plot, and gets a cool, sick leather jacket and fire engine red shades, and calls himself Scourge the Hedgehog.
Wait, so he doesn't start out green? Like he starts out blue and turns
Yeah, he
green?
just starts out looking like Sonic. Yeah. Something Chaos Emeralds, like everything in this series. So, and the reason why I want to bring Scourge to the forefront, not just because it's absolutely bananas insane, but because with Scourge, you also get the entire Suppression Squad.
Stupid.
I am going to take this away from you because I'm looking at a picture of the Suppression Squad that has the squad members labeled, and it is awful. Scourge the Hedgehog is bad, but Sleuth Dog and Sergeant Simeon are too terrible.
Whoa, Matt, that's the Destructix. That's not the Suppression Squad.
I hate this so much.
Oh my god!
The Suppression Squad is the anti-Mobius version of the Freedom Fighters, which are what the main characters in the comics call themselves. So that's Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, all those guys. The Destructix is the anti-Mobius version of the Chaotix.
Ugh.
So
Don't get it twisted, Matt.
There's so much edge in these photos.
God damn.
that's really it. I think it's important to note a couple of these Suppression Squad members. We've got his girlfriend, Princess Alicia Acorn, which is the mirror version of Sally Acorn, which is Sonic's girlfriend in the comics. We've got Miles Prower, a mouthy punk who's looking for any excuse to stab Scourge in the back, and Rosie the Rascal, a mentally unstable girl wielding a spiked hammer that is constantly haunting Scourge for ignoring her.
Okay, I'm going to point out that you skipped Jeffrey St. Croix, who is a skunk in an ascot and leather jacket.
You also skipped Buns Rabbit.
Oh, Buns Rabbit's really good. We're gonna cover Buns Rabbit later. Actually, I don't want to third act reveal Buns Rabbit.
or Patch de Coulette.
Yeah, look, guys. We could stay all day on the Sonic comics.
I don't
but
want
for
to.
now. Let's just stick to Scourge the Hedgehog.
I know that you said that Mega Man and Dr. Wily came in here, but I am having a hard time believing that Slurms McKenzie isn't also here.
He's one of the Destructix.
Yeah, probably. This gorilla has a. It looks like Donkey Kong. He's got like a war vest on,
I hate this.
like a military vest.
I really super hate this.
Knowing the time that came
Yeah.
out too, that's not the least racist
Oh.
they could have done.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, I that's all I had. We don't need to talk about these.
yeah,
nerds anymore.
we'll move on from that. So guys, a real big draw of the Sonic movie that just came out was the return to form, if you will, for Jim Carrey, and more importantly, the beginning of what is now known as the late Marsden period of film.
Textbooks will have this written. It's the late Marsden.
We had the reconnaissance, and we've got the late Marsden period.
The reconnaissance.
And the studio really wants to continue that trend. So the next question, the next thing they want to hear from you is an actor you recommend, who you want to pull out of retirement for one last ride to appear opposite your character. What role are they going to play in the movie? Why did you choose them to like pair with your character? And just generally, what are they going to do in the movie, and how do you see it? So Todd, what do you got?
Yeah, so I went the route of giving you someone who falls into that late Marsden period. So someone who's not necessarily looking for their revival or their last ride, but someone who's looking to be that new buddy cop face with Silver. And so the thing to note with Silver is that Silver in the game Sonic Rivals had some really, really clever in-your-face commentary that he would say as he passed you. He would say things like, "I'm better," and "Who's the best?" You know, really to jab at you.
Really colorful stuff.
Yeah, oh yeah. And so
scathing insults.
So we're going to need a strong leading name with sharp, strong, that in-your-face personality to really hold their own against our beacon of justice, Silver. And so someone that I don't think is doing much right now that I think we need to call up would be Peggy Carter or Haley Atwell herself to play the role of a brilliant scientist who discovers that time travel technology and helps open up the portal that brings Silver or the thing that Silver's fighting to our timeline. And so she will, in fact, be the actual smartest person in the room at all time, kind of running against how Robotnik likes to play that. Though she'll be largely unassuming because she is here to perfect her craft and she doesn't need to impress you or anyone else, Kyle.
I mean, she kind of does. It is an audition.
Okay, well,
So, wait.
that aside.
So, does she work for the government? I don't understand why she's
No.
experimenting with time travel.
I mean, I think she's just a brilliant scientist working for Humane Science Company, and she discovers, or maybe
so why
she's
is she
working
working with Robotnik.
Or, well, no, I'm just saying there will come a time where they share the screen, and she is smarter than him and lets him know about it. This is the pitch. It, whatever. We'll work with it. It could be whatever.
We'll workshop it, Andrew.
I don't think
Okay.
Robotnik. Did Robotnik have a lot of women on his staff? I only remember Agent Stone.
Yeah, he just had the one guy.
Yeah. So I think things to look forward to would be the biggest highlight on the screen for her when she's this brilliant scientist and she's so matter of fact. There's going to come this moment where something completely bonkers takes place, and she remarks about how this can't be happening as she looks over and realizes that she's talking to an anthropomorphic time-traveling telekinetic hedgehog. And she goes, "Oh, right." And then they go back to their completely bonkers thing that's going on. There will also be a really good crowd-pleasing moment when, I don't know, she punches Dr. Robotnik or kicks his ass or something. And
that girl power punch.
Well, and after he tries to big brain her in some really dramatic moment, she kicks his ass and says something like, "Now who has egg on her face, man?" Or something. I don't know. Haley Atwell.
You are
Haley Atwell.
banned for life from the writing
We'll
room.
leave
Yeah,
the writing
no,
to
I'm-
the
The
writers,
writing in
Todd.
this movie is excellent.
I'm just here to present the storyboard with a couple interchangeable scenes that we can mess with. I'm not here to write the script. That's no, that's not me.
That's some nerd's job.
That's some nerd.
Just as long as you don't try to punch up anything that Silver says, because we want that to be as pure as possible.
I pure uncut Silver Hedgehog dialogue.
I'm the best.
You want to give us another one of those fresh Silver quotes, Todd?
It would another good one would probably be something like, "You've lost today," or
Oh,
I was
chills.
I was successful over you because I tried harder."
Is that real?
Very good.
No, these are made up, but you don't know. They could be.
No, I mean from not having played Sonic 06, but seeing plenty of Let's Plays. Silver is the paladin of the Sonic
Mhm.
world. Like he's just the biggest boner.
Well, and the whole thing, the whole reason for his introduction was like to show that there are different ways to beat the levels, and his is that he flies and throws shit. I think they really came up with the concept of how he would play before they decided anything else about his character or personality.
That sounds like every Sonic game ever.
Oh yeah.
Hey, we have this idea, let's build a plot around it. Like,
hmm
Yeah.
hey, it'd be cool if we made Sonic the Hedgehog, like, fight things and punch things and maybe not just go fast. Well, let's make him a werewolf!
Yeah.
Werehog! That's how we'll do it!
And they let that one get through the gates. Like that one happened.
Not only did they get through the gates, it's one of the better ones.
A lot of people signed off on that idea.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else, Todd?
No, I think
About-
I think that movie sells itself.
I-
Haley Atwell is looking for a franchise that she can sign on to for the next 10 years, seeing as how I don't assume we're getting a lot more Peggy Carter. So, and if we do, it's probably more cameo than like standalone stuff. So she's in it. She's ready to sign on for 10 movies, and that is like, or 10 years, not 10 movies, but maybe 10 movies. Jesus, that's so long. A 10-year deal.
So
Yeah.
she's gonna Robert Downey Jr. the Sonic franchise and just carry it on her back for 10 years.
She's gonna no, Kyle. She's going to Robert Downey Jr. the Silver franchise and carry it for 10 years.
Oh, okay,
Mm.
great.
Ugh.
Matt, stop Todd from saying more things.
I will absolutely stop Todd. Here's the thing. Todd picked an actress and said, we will build a character for this actress who isn't part of the Sonic lore, and we're going to try and make that stick. And I have no interest in doing that. I think one of the things that made Jim Carrey work so well as Eggman was that everybody knew who Eggman was, and they were like, yeah, I see Jim Carrey as Eggman, that's great. So I'm going to take a character that is already well in existence in the Jet the Hawk / Babylon Rogues storyline, and I am going to put an actor to that character. And that actor is none other than Samwise Gamgee himself, Mr. Sean Astin.
Fantastic.
Sean Astin will be playing the role of Storm the Albatross. Storm the Albatross of the
Fucking
Babylon
Storm
Rogues.
the Albatross.
But so here's
Storm
the
the
thing,
Albatross
right?
is a unit.
An
Yeah.
absolute unit.
Exactly. And here's the thing. Jet the Hawk and Wave the Swallow are still totally CGI like Sonic and Tails were, but not Storm. Like Sean Astin is Storm the Albatross the way that Mark Ruffalo was Smart Hulk in Endgame. Like it's definitely Mark Ruffalo, but just like a big green Mark Ruffalo. That's what we're doing with Sean Astin. Big silver Sean Astin.
I'm much more on board if it's not like mocapped Sean Astin, but Sean Astin live on camera in
in
like,
a costume.
in a giant albatross costume.
Yeah, 100%. We're doing it. We're all in. We're doing it. Here's the thing, man. So Storm the Albatross is like the right-hand man to Jet the Hawk. Of the Babylon Rogues, the three of them, Jet the Hawk is sort of the de facto leader. And then there's Storm, who's like the muscle and the brute and he calls Jet boss, do whatever he says, whatever you need.
Isn't he just like a Big the Cat palette swipe though? Like he's just Big the Cat, right?
He is like, he's not the most intelligent in the group, but he's not doofy the way Big the Cat is.
Is Storm
okay.
is Storm the Albatross also an expert fisherman?
No.
Yeah.
No. Not an expert fisherman, also less interested in frogs is Storm the Albatross
Fair.
than Big the Cat. But so here's what we're going, right? So Big the Cat, not Big the Cat, fuck.
Yeah.
Storm the Albatross
Did it?
is like the defense unit. He's the do whatever the boss says. He's there to be part of the mission. And Wave the Swallow is like, she's part of the team, but she doesn't really consider Jet the leader. They're all equals, whatever. No, we're not doing that. Storm the Albatross is going to have the same kind of energy that Sean Astin did as the brother in 50 First Dates. Like, that's the Sean Astin that I need to play Storm the Albatross. And we are 100% going to see that good, like, pan of Storm the Albatross's bedroom in the Babylon Rogue hideout. And we're going to see that sweet mesh crop top hanging in the back
Gross.
on top of his bench or
Gross.
whatever. Because we need that drop. We need that reference. We're
Matt,
gonna tie this to 50
why
First
don't you
Dates.
explain Sean Astin's character in 50 First Dates a little bit for anyone who may be unfamiliar, who
Oh,
may
man.
only know him as Rudy and or Samwise Gamgee.
Yeah, so in 50 First Dates, like, Drew Barrymore has a brother, and that brother is really defensive of Drew Barrymore and used to be a bodybuilder but got busted for taking steroids and is this weird caricature of a former bodybuilder who got busted taking steroids who lives in Hawaii and is like
excellent.
5'7" canonically. So
With
yeah.
with a thick lisp.
A thick lisp. Very
Yeah.
thick. And every single scene in which he is in, there is a mention of his nipples. Every scene.
I do want to mention just quickly, literally the first paragraph of the Storm the Albatross entry on the wiki. Personality. One of Storm's most defining traits is his lack of intelligence. He is dim-witted, often forgetful, easily misled, and can trip over even the simplest of words. He also gets happy and upset in a childish manner quite fast, hinting his simple mindset.
Good.
Okay, so read me the first sentence of Big the Cat.
Oh, I got you. I've got that page open.
Good.
It's his homepage.
It's my own page. Fictional character, blah blah. Large anthropomorphic purple cat who lives deep within mystic ruins. Though imposing of stature, Big is a gentle and easygoing, though somewhat dim-witted person with a heart of gold. He also possesses incredible strength and toughness that makes him one of Sonic the Hedgehog's strongest allies. He is also an expert fisherman.
Okay, so like,
Hangs out
I
with
will-
best friend Froggy.
I will 100% acknowledge that Storm the Albatross is not a smart character, but I think it's two very different kinds of dumb.
Does Storm the Albatross have one of those like a belt that a woman would wear just for fashion? Because that's what Big the Cat has, is just a fashion belt.
Yeah, a
It's a
fashion belt
utility
and
belt.
fashionable slides. That is Big the Cat.
Yeah, the slides.
No, it's a different kind of. It's a whole different character. It's like Big the Cat is that like good little brother that it's like Big the Cat but he comes along because he's little brother and we love him. Yada yada yada. Storm the Albatross is just kind of the bumbling idiot. Like he's like Kronk. He's Kronk in Emperor's New Groove. That is Storm the Albatross.
He's what they use to remind the kids to read. Here's what happens if you don't read, kids.
Yeah, he'll 100% be on a read poster in a college library someday.
With the book upside down.
Yes.
It'll be an Archie comic.
Andrew, what actor are you pulling out of the regs to star in our movie?
So the other two guys talked a little bit. I think there was some pretty big gaps in between where the last movie ended and this new movie begins. What I'm going to propose is that we jump right into it. So my first scene, very much following the lines of Spider-Man: Homecoming. We're going to start with a cold open with a team of fire trucks rushing into the scene of a blaze in a small town. And this is after a couple seconds we realize or recognize to be the aftermath of the final showdown with Robotnik in the first movie. So this is, for those of you who didn't see the movie, Robotnik just like launches like 300 missiles at like all of these like residencies and shit in Green Hills, Montana, and everyone's just like, oh, that's crazy. And then like James Marsden and Sonic just like just like walk away from the carnage. Like James Marsden's like, yeah, people are probably dead. I'm the sheriff, whatever. I got a new son. And it's just like they're out, right? And like immediately when I saw that, I was like, the fuck? So I want to dive into that. So like I said, our first scene here is this cold open where these fire trucks come in. Out from the lead fire truck, we see a strong-looking firefighter played by the one, the only Adam Driver. And I'm going to pause there because I want to be super clear. I think it's generally understood, but I'll explain. When thinking about, kind of following this motif of like foils and anti-Mobius, anti-Sonic, what it would be the anti-Sonic version of James Marsden. Well, everybody, it's kind of generally understood that Adam Driver is the opposite of James Marsden, right?
Absolutely.
Now, I don't disagree, but can you help me get there?
Sure. So James Marsden is, very much like what you see is what you get, right? Very like very not surface level, but like classical good looks, right?
He's like an American cheeseburger.
Yeah, he's like an American cheeseburger, exactly. Like you might have some lettuce, tomato, onion, but like there's no surprises there.
No, there's no extra patty special sauce, sesame seed bun.
Whereas like Adam Driver is an onion. Adam Driver is not even a cheeseburger. Adam Driver is just an onion.
Adam Driver is a Crunchwrap Supreme. It is confusing and complex and broody.
But also amazing and never like do you never not want a Crunchwrap Supreme? Exactly.
I always want a Crunchwrap Supreme.
Exactly.
I do also always want Crunchwrap Supremes.
And just like Crunchwrap Supreme, on the surface, it's not a lot, right? It's just like kind of a quesadilla. But then you bite into that and you dig in, you're like, holy shit. Marriage Story, though? So, hence, Adam Driver is the opposite of James Marsden.
Listeners, please check out our non-existent Patreon to hear Todd's 3-hour dive into how Adam Driver is a Crunchwrap Supreme.
I gotta. So usually in this silly podcast we make fun of the things that people say, and I want to really take a second, Andrew, to tell you that I thought that was actually really good what you did there with Adam Driver. But I was instantly snapped back into the fact that we're talking about Scourge the Hedgehog. And I was holding on to this really happy, my Crunchwrap Supreme. And then someone just swatted it out of my hand and probably said, like, you should have gone fast, and then, like, burnt out or something.
He put on his cool sunglasses and
I'll tell you what he did. He skated away on his Heelys.
Yeah, he did. He certainly did. All right, so let's go back to the movie. So
we don't
Adam
need
Driver
to.
comes out. Adam's character busts into a residence to save a grandmother and a young child, and then goes back in for the family dog. He gets the family dog out, but then we see right after we think he's out of the house, but a large wooden beam falls, dislodges, and cracks her on top of him, knocking him unconscious. So then we fast forward 6 months, and we do the usual, like we focus in on someone's alarm clock, and someone hits it, and then you hear "It's a beautiful morning," and then the first 5 minutes are just Adam Driver brushing his teeth, frowning in the mirror to show that life is pointless. He's got a beard. His eyes are all like glazed over. He's much more aged in this 6 months, and most notably, we pan down and we see that he's in a wheelchair. So obviously, some shit's happened. That whole cold open, that accident paralyzed him from the waist down. So unfortunately, he knows he's never going to walk again, and he can no longer be a firefighter. Nothing in his life has meaning anymore. He's not working. He's on disability, and he just has no purpose. So he just wanders the streets of Green Hills, completely haunted by that night.
This the sequel to our fun children's
little
movie
dark. It took a turn.
Well,
It's a lot of dark.
This is the first 5 minutes. We're getting through the exposition here. So, what makes all of this that much worse is the fact that everyone has pretty much seemed to forget him. They've heralded it up or held up their new Blue Devil alien as the town hero. James Marsden, the classically handsome town sheriff, is decided to stay and not move to his cool, bigger, way better job in San Francisco, and everyone's just kind of forgot that this crazy person blew up like a bunch of houses and a lot of people got hurt, including Adam Driver. All they care about is their new alien friend. And just as mysteriously as Sonic appeared years ago, we see a green hedgehog with red shades and a leather jacket and a smarmy grin emerging from a warp ring. We see Scourge running into Adam Driver's character while wandering around town drunk and slovenly eating a bagel with too much cream cheese, and Scourge dubs him Bagel Dork. Bagel Dork.
I won't know.
Saying it again didn't make it better.
That's a foil to Donut Lord. So, Bagel Dork. Bagel Dork and Scourge don't like each other at first.
Bagel Dork. I get
it. Now you get it. Yeah. They don't like each other at first, but they soon find a common enemy in Sonic the Hedgehog and the town hero, Donut Lord, the sheriff. So together, they're going to take those losers down. And then, because this is a family movie, Bagel Dork eventually learns that Scourge is actually evil and stops before going too far. And he will eventually switch sides and work with Sonic and James Marsden to trick Scourge into going back from where he came from, reminding the audience that heroes come in all shapes and sizes.
I don't like that you started your family movie, the sequel to a family movie that started with a very fun and happy record scratch. Yep, that's me. Bet you're wondering how I got here. And instead started it with a firefighter tragedy.
A first
That's no
responder
good.
getting injured, Andrew.
Well,
but,
here's
the
but I
rewrite.
balanced it.
Here's the
Look, we
rewrite
balanced
for
it
you,
out.
Matt.
We've got "It's a Beautiful Morning."
Here's
we
the
got
rewrite
that.
for you, Matt. We skip. We do it in reverse and just show a very sad wheelchaired Adam Driver, and then you get your record scratch, and he says,
No.
"I guess you're wondering how I got here." And then we throw it back and show that he was in the building and got a beam dropped on his back.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll make it that.
Is that
Thanks,
better?
Kyle.
Is that more lighthearted?
This episode is
Yeah.
getting dangerously close to the content of the lost debate this episode that we never published.
Getting right up to that line.
It's a beautiful morning.
Well, that is enough of that.
No, it's bad.
Well, good news, guys. The studio,
The execs called.
Paramount they really like all three characters you've brought today. But they
Is that good news?
Why?
Is that really good news, Kyle?
I've got news for you guys.
they aren't gonna sign anyone, make any decisions until we've talked about longevity. Because Paramount really is planning a 10-year arc of a Sonic cinematic universe. And they want your character to be able to support a standalone movie without Sonic. They want to hear what your pitch is for that movie and any ideas for like A-listers from the Sonic universe you want to bring in, like think like Hulk or Doctor Strange in Thor 3. And what potential for sequels do you have? Just all that fun stuff to make your standalone movie for your character really stand out. I didn't
Stand
like that.
alone.
Alone.
Stand
Ah,
alone.
Stand alone.
To make him really stand by himself.
We're gonna skip Todd now. And
No, I've got good things.
do
So
you?
well,
I'm gonna hold you to that.
I've got
It opens
things.
with Silver. It opens with Silver saying, "I stand alone."
That is my favorite Godsmack
I
song.
was a Godsmack is playing behind him.
Stand alone.
Stop! We gotta pay for that. Stop.
Yeah, we need to monetize this episode. Okay, so Silver as a character is just very OP. I would draw the comparison to like Silver at his maximum power is like binary form Captain Marvel OP, who can, she can smash through full spaceships. Silver can manipulate shit with his brain. So we are going to focus on what happens right after the big explosive ending of the huge team up moment in the movie that followed Silver's introduction. And so this movie after that is going to be a movie about how Silver has to try to like find his place in this like post-battle life with his friend Blaze the Cat. Blaze the Cat is not the A-lister. Blaze the Cat is just his friend. So
Thanks for clarifying that.
it's
Right
important.
away.
Popular character Blaze the Cat is not the A-lister. So Blaze, with surname the Cat, they have found themselves living in the Mystic Ruins with Blaze's cousin, Big the Cat. Big the Cat is the A-lister. And I'm here to tell you that not only are we going to have everyone's favorite character, Big the Cat, make an appearance in the second outing of Silver the Hedgehog.
You mean a reskinned Storm the Albatross?
Yeah, and here's the thing. Big the Cat is going to be using a similar technology as Matt described, but it is going to be played by Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And so not only that, Blaze the Cat's best friend is a small frog named Froggy. As for Froggy, that's Kevin Hart. So this movie this movie is going to go from what was, that large, huge, explosive introduction of Silver to this like weird, much more low-key, there are not issues in Mystic Ruins. And then obviously things are going to ramp up in the end, and then Silver has to, tackle that. The kicker here is as we're building this universe around Silver, because Silver is the moneymaker here now, the movie to follow that one is going to introduce another popular character that everyone loves, Espio the Chameleon, which, I mean, everyone already knows how much they love Espio. We've talked about that here on the
Nope.
podcast.
I
No one
defended
has ever
Espio, and
loved
I hate
Espio the
Espio.
Chameleon.
Nope. Hear that? Everyone loves Espio.
Nope. Nope.
And then Kyle, the last thing I have to paint for you. So the thing that then pops off the second trilogy of Silver, because he's so popular, is
You're
going to
giving
be
this guy 6 movies?
Yeah, oh yeah.
You, in
Oh,
this
yeah.
ridiculous headcanon that we've come up with, think it's really a good idea to give anyone 6 movies.
6 movies and a Paramount Plus limited run streaming service. And so
Ugh.
lastly, the villain that they introduced for the beginning of the second trilogy is going to be the one, the only Dr. Eggman Nega, because that is a thing that happens with Silver as his arch nemesis. And so when you're going to have a character that runs parallel of Dr. Eggman, Jim Carrey, you have to give Jim Carrey the Waluigi treatment. And so Kyle, the opposite actor for Jim Carrey, is going to be obviously the one and only Gary Busey. Yeah, so that is what we are getting.
Gross.
Kyle.
He's not like an opposite. He's just like an alternate.
I feel like Andrew put
Yeah.
a lot more thought into his opposite character than you did, Todd.
I don't
I
think
agree.
so.
I agree with you, Kyle.
I have a better opposite to Jim Carrey. I would say Gary Busey is using Jim Carrey's powers for evil and not for good.
Yes.
I stand
I like
by what
that.
I've said because I like
Because I've dug this hole and I have to stand in it.
I'm in a deep hole. Also, I just really like the mental image of like Gary Busey just getting too close to Jim Carrey and like sizing him up and then saying something really scientific. Like I want it. I want that energy.
My image, like the image that my brain went to is Jim Carrey, like not Jim Carrey. Gary Busey's version of Robotnik is just him in like a long sleeve tee. It's just like just kind of like salivating at the mouth and like just like in normal street clothes.
Again, I just have this mental image of him like out. I don't know. Jim Carrey got in people's faces really closely, and I want Gary Busey just getting a little bit closer to Jim Carrey's face. Take that as a quote that stands by itself. I only got into this podcast to get Gary Busey's face as close to Jim Carrey's as possible.
I'm not here to kink shame you, but that is a weird thing to desire.
I don't have anything to explain to you in 2020.
Sounds a little like kink shaming it, Matt. So that's
Good.
Matt, tell us about
Yes.
your movie.
Kyle, I'd like to tell you about my movie. So this Kyle is where things get really wild. This is it. The Babylon Rogues are wild thieves. They have a real gray moral ambiguity
What
as
did they
long as they
steal?
get
Like
paid.
what? Why are they thieves? They just seem like chill birds who skateboard.
Oh boy, crack your knuckles. We're going to some deep lore. Here we go. So
Oh,
they're
Andrew.
thieves because they've always been thieves, because that's
I'm
what the
sorry.
descendant of the Babylonians are. Who are the Babylonians, you may ask? The Babylonians are those ancient alien genie-like beings I talked about.
Like the Tower of Babel, like in the Bible.
They're literally called the Babylonians, like the Tower of Babel in the Bible. Yes, I
Cool.
do not know why, but
The Tower of Babel in the
Babylonians-
Bible is a fun sentence to say.
It is.
the Babylonians,
As opposed to all the other towers of Babel.
the
As opposed to the
Babylonians.
The
God
Babylonian
damn it.
Rouges.
Listen, I need to talk about the Babylonian rogues. So, the Babylonians were this ancient race of aliens who flew around the galaxy in this spaceship called the Babylonian Garden, which is like literally the size of a world. It's like a small world, but it's a spaceship, and it flies around all over the place, powered by these rings called the Arcs of the Cosmos. The Arcs of the Cosmos. Those are rings that harness the power of gravity, like the ones in black holes, and they use those rings to power their world-sized spaceship called the Babylonian Garden. Oh no, they came to Earth, and Earth's gravity messed up the rings or whatever, and they crashed the Babylonian
Because no
Garden.
other planet has gravity? Like
Yes.
what?
Yeah,
Exactly.
right? I know. I didn't get that part either. It was murky. So the Babylonian Garden crashes, but it doesn't like actually crash. It just floats above the earth, kind of District 9 style for a little while. And somewhere in there, I don't know, they like mix it up with some birds, and then the descendants of the Babylonian race becomes anthropomorphic
Wait.
birds. It's weird. I don't really
They
get
just-
that part.
Their story in this very children's series canon, aliens did it with a bunch of birds, and now we got bird people on skateboards. Is that the lore?
They went to Pound Town with some birds, and now we're here.
By this logic, did one like branch off and find a hedgehog to do this with, and that's how we
No.
got Sonic? Or
Oh yeah.
do all the
And did one make it with a
anthropomorphic-
bat?
Yeah.
Are bats
No,
birds?
no. Wait, so hold on. Everybody stop. Also, bats aren't birds. Bats are mammals, I think.
Who
no.
hooked up with a Hot Topic bat? I know.
The Babylonian rogues. The Babylonian rogues are the avian anthropomorphic
The Babylonian
bird
Rouges. It's in the name. The Babylonian
Babylonian
Rouges.
people are the descendants of the Babylonians. Now, in nowhere in the Sonic canon have we ever seen the Babylonians, so we do not know what the aliens look like. But now we know that they're anthropomorphic bird people, at least their descendants are, so we don't know if they came to Earth as anthropomorphic birds or if they came to Earth as aliens and then became anthropomorphic birds. That part is murky. Admittedly,
They
it's
had to be
murky.
humanoids. They had to be humanoids, right? Because these motherfuckers they have feet. Birds don't
I-
have feet.
have
Birds
zero
very
interest
much have feet, Andrew.
in
I mean, they have
discussing
feet,
this
but not
further.
like not human shoes.
Okay, so the Babylonian rogues are the descendants of these genie-like alien bird things, right? And forever, the Babylonian rogues have like lived on Earth stealing things because that's what the Babylonian rogues do, and they've done that for generations, like literally since the aliens. The aliens showed up, crashed their spaceship, and they're like, "Guess there's nothing else to do but crime," and they start stealing things, and so. Then eventually the Babylonian garden like crashes and comes to Earth and gets buried under the sands in the desert, and then the Babylonian rogues continue as this family line, but they forget that they were ever the descendants of alien genie bird being things. So the Babylonian rogues steal things because of that, I guess. I don't know, they just always have. They've always stolen things. They steal things because they're the Babylonian rogues. So they have this real great moral ambiguity, right? And they're going to steal some things. And this leads them to team up with Eggman for a while in an attempt to steal the Chaos Emeralds to reactivate the Garden of Babylon because, like, reasons. So that's Sonic canon. All right, that's what happens in the books. But we're going to take some liberties here because the Sonic movies haven't quite gotten to the Chaos Emerald part in the STHCU. So instead, the Babylonian Rogues are going to team up with Jim Carrey's Eggman to steal back the Arcs of the Cosmos, which are those black hole rings that power the spaceship I was talking about earlier. And then we're going to do this sweet action heist movie that's really kind of like Point Break, and they're going to steal back the Arcs of the Cosmos. It's going to be wild, but here's the thing, right? Eggman knows where all the Arcs of the Cosmos are, but he doesn't have all of them because Amy Rose has one of them. And Amy Rose is that sweet A-lister that we're going to pull into this movie to make it sell tickets. Amy Rose. Woo!
Hey,
Amy Rose.
Matt, just real quick question.
Ugh.
Do you think this movie would be more of like a 2-hour and like 23-minute movie, or like a 1 hour and 52-minute movie?
It sounds like an HBO miniseries.
Those are weirdly specific numbers, Todd. Why do you ask?
I'm just trying to decide if this movie is going to feel more like I'm watching Man of Steel or Thor: The Dark World, because whereas Man of Steel didn't really, it was all plot and exposition. Thor: The Dark World assumed you knew what was going on, but then continued to just shovel the more exposition at you with things you didn't care about.
Well, if that's
Is
the
Amy
scale by
Rose
which
Natalie
you go by
Portman?
things, if that's the scale by which you go by things, then yes, Amy Rose is Natalie Portman.
It's actually not the worst thing that could have happened out of that, but
No, Todd, it's like Fear the Walking Dead. It's giving me canon and lore about a period that I've never asked questions about.
it's true that the writer of the book or of the graphic novel specifically said we're not here to talk about why this happened.
Right.
I have been offended by a lot of things today, but Fear the Walking Dead is the worst one. That one cuts real deep. That one hurts bad.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Don't say that.
My thing is not better.
No, it's
Please-
definitely
please
not
tell
going
us
to be
about
better.
it. Please tell us about it so we can end this.
All right, so we ended my last movie with Scourge being sent back to where he came from, but actually he didn't get sent back to where he came from.
Uh-oh.
He never actually left Earth.
Whoops, all Scourges.
Whoops, all Scourges indeed. Instead, Scourge was teleported to the exact opposite of Green Hills, Missouri. So
Which
we
is?
open, let me reveal it. We open with a sign welcoming the audience to Scarlet Valley, a small suburban neighborhood located in upstate New York.
I don't know what that means for me.
Boo.
Scarlet Valley. Scarlet Valley is
Boo.
red is the opposite of green.
Bad
Valley
pun.
is the opposite of a hill.
Bad
I thought
that
pun.
was- You know what?
Red is not the
No.
opposite of
East
green.
Coast.
No,
Red is
no.
not
Look
the
at a
opposite
color
of
wheel,
green.
bitch.
Okay, stop.
No,
Look at a
I-
color wheel.
Stop. I'm
Look
not
at a
gonna make
color
fun-
wheel.
I'm not going to make fun of you for that. I'm going to make fun of you because I don't know why you didn't pull out some sort of deep lore actual location in the Sonic universe and went for the low-hanging lazy fruit.
Because I went for the low-hanging lazy fruit on everything else.
You did you gave lore that none of us cared to hear about, but this was the one where you're like, nah.
Yep.
So anyway, so
it
we
appears
watched.
to be the case.
So the beginning of this movie is going to be much like the beginning of the Sonic movie, whereas we watch Scourge kind of like introduce us to the town through his eyes. But of course, he's got way more attitudes. Be like, this is this nerd. In particular, he hates this one particular man played by Stephen Tobolowsky. Now, you might not know who Stephen Tobolowsky is just by saying the name.
I don't.
Did you see Groundhog's Day? You guys know
I
that
did.
movie?
Yeah.
That was Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Ned Ryerson? Ned? Ryerson? Ned Ryerson? That's Stephen Tobolowsky.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's been in like 1,000 things. He was in Glee for a little bit. He was in Silicon Valley. He's been in like he is like the number one. He is the most
998
like
more things.
epitomous. Yeah, he is the epitomous example of that guy. Like you can't name name his characters because he's a character actor. But like when you look at his face, you're gonna be like, oh fuck, that guy. Yeah, totally.
He is one of the most notorious that guys in
Yes.
cinema.
I would argue second only to James, I forget his last name, who has played either the president or the Secretary of State in every action movie ever. Anyway, so Stephen Tobolowsky, the reason I picked him is like the Adam Driver, James Marsden connection. Stephen Tobolowsky, in my mind, is the actual opposite of Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey, you've got a very overstated, very not character actor, right? Everything Jim Carrey plays is basically himself, is his own character. Jim Carrey is the character, right? So Jim Carrey, you know what you're going to get with a Jim Carrey movie. So you need someone his foil is going to be a very understated, probably someone who his personality isn't really known, right? He's someone who kind of blends into his character. So hence Stephen Tobolowsky. So we see him walking down. He's wearing a white coat. Walking down the street, he's got a little stethoscope around his neck. Obviously, he's a doctor. He's waving to people. Clearly, he's very well liked in this little town. We see him walk inside his office. There's a nameplate on the door that says Dr. Julian Kintobor, veterinarian. Oh, wait. Kintobor? Spell it out? I'm going to have to flip it, reverse it.
Oh,
Reverse.
Oh, I get it.
It's Robotnik.
Robotnik backwards.
This is the low-hanging fruit because
Oh, that's
the actual
low
nemesis.
hanging.
The actual nemesis of Scourge the Hedgehog is Dr. Julian Kintobor, a kindly veterinarian.
Wait, so are the Scourge comics just this like kind of asshole hedgehog
Yeah.
tormenting this poor veterinarian
Basically.
for no reason?
He doesn't have it. He doesn't have his own. I mean, Scourge is the bad guy in his world. Like he is like Robotnik is the evil. Like Robotnik took over Mobius. Scourge took over anti-Mobius. Or
But why does he
Mobius.
pick on this one particular veterinarian?
Because he's too nice. Because and this is where Buns Rabbit comes into play. Because Buns
Ooh,
Rabbit
good. I've been waiting.
Buns Rabbit is actually Scourge's other girlfriend, secret girlfriend, who
Secret girlfriend.
dumped her because not kidding, she was diagnosed with AIDS, and Dr. Kintobor is trying to cure her
Whoa.
of her AIDS.
Whoa!
Is that canon in the comic books?
Whoa!
Who does? I mean, okay, let's be fair.
That's
Marvel,
worse than your reveal that Adam Driver was in a wheelchair.
yeah, and
I
like
know.
Marvel did some really
And I didn't
really-
make that up.
Marvel did like terrible things to women superheroes for a long time, and then they like retconned all of it because they're like, wow, we were terrible. But man,
It's really bad.
Archie comics are supposed to be like lighthearted and not that.
But they're not though. Like look at any comic of Betty and Veronica and it's fucked up.
The Sonic corner of Archie comics, where everyone
any better, it's just
everyone
different.
isn't wearing pants and has like one defining feature.
Yeah. Bones Rabot has AIDS. Anyway, so we're gonna leave you with that. So Kinto Bohr, played by Stephen Tobolowsky, walks into his office. He looks suspicious. He shuts the blinds. He opens a secret hatch in the back of his office, and we follow him in the back room where we see a small red echidna wearing a black beret. And Tobolowsky says, "Oh Nux, how are you feeling?" Pause. So
Okay,
when I
well-
mentioned, and the last reveal here is when I mentioned the Suppression Squad earlier, I purposely omitted the Knuckles version because the anti-Knuckles is actually not part of Scourge's team. Anti-Knuckles is a pacifist because normal Knuckles likes to fight. Anti-Knuckles, I kid you not, has a black beret and a small thin mustache.
Because he's French.
And his name, because he's French, and his name is Onux.
How is that
Andrew,
spelled?
important question. Yep, Todd asked my important question. How is it spelled?
O'_NUX.
Nope, that's the worst one. They could have been a lot of things and be bad, but that
Yeah.
was really bad.
Yeah.
That one was the worst.
So Onux says, "I'm feeling better. My thanks, Dr. Kintobor. You are really a paragon of society and a true friend." Onux tells Dr. Kintobor he doesn't have any money to pay him, so he offers him, let's say it together, a chaos
the power
emerald.
of friendship.
Nailed it.
Okay.
So him giving Kintobor a Chaos Emerald sets in motion Scourge assembling his actual Suppression Squad team to steal the Emerald back and use its powers to get home to Anti-Mobius and/or take over New York State. We don't really know yet which. And that's the movie. Scourge the Hedgehog. Suppression Squad.
I would like to
Beret.
end this podcast now. I would like to be done.
I'll torpedo mine option if it's just not Andrew's.
The best part about a Scourge the Hedgehog movie is the article headlines slamming it after it bombs just write themselves. Like,
Yeah, it's incredibly tasteless.
It's gonna have the kind of like punchy headlines like when Cats was bad. When it was like the Cats the movie is the worst thing to happen to cats since dogs was one of the like headlines.
just all the editors of major publications that review movies get to like flex their pun muscles for a week.
Shadow the Hedgehog sold like a couple million copies, so whatever.
Of a game.
And then
Games are very
people
different
learned
than movies.
people learned from that.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. People wanted a Shadow the Hedgehog game. Nobody wants
No
this.
one's asked for a Scourge the Hedgehog movie.
Yeah.
Had I known Scourge existed, I would have asked for the opposite. I would have said, please don't.
So guys, Paramount's gonna look some of these movies over. Maybe scrap most of the ideas here today, but see which one's most marketable. We'll see. But they as they try to launch this, and this will be our super secret bonus question if that needs to be spelled out for you three. As they plan this cinematic universe for Sonic, they really want to tap into some more of that 90s nostalgia that Sonic and Jim Carrey really brought to the movie and bring to the franchise. And they feel the best way to do that is to tie into the movie a 90s style sweepstakes giveaway for kids. Many will enter, few will win. So when we come back from the break, Paramount wants to hear your ideas for a giveaway sweepstakes that ties into the character you are trying to make a movie of. But first, we are going to take a short break.
If you're anything like me, then you've sat and stared at the clock on your phone and asked yourself, why is this different from the time on my computer? And why is that different from the clock in my car? Can I even trust my cell phone carrier to tell me what time it is? Have I become so reliant on capital C corporations to help me perform daily functions that I can't even tell time without them? Well, then it's time you checked out Time.is. Time.is is, I assume, the internet's only truly universal timekeeping device, freed from the shackles of a centralized location or a physical mechanism. Time.is will tell you exactly what time it is and how off your pleb clock is, all within a less than 1/100th of a second. Okay, so you've got your time, but what if you want to know, say, the time in Hong Kong? Well, Time.is has the correct time for any location on Earth. Just search for your location in the search bar, and you'll find out what time it is there, too. Whether you're synchronizing watches to prepare for an elaborate and needlessly flashy bank heist, or you're recording separate audio tracks for an amateur podcast, Time.is is your solution for decentralized timekeeping. Just go to www.time.is. No registration or payment is needed. It's literally just a digital clock. There's like nothing else you have to do and no other expectations that are set. Just use it whenever you need an accurate clock.
All right, we're back. So, guys, the Paramount is here. As you may remember, they asked you guys to come up with a 90s style sweepstakes giveaway that ties in your character to the Sonic movie. So, Todd, what are we giving away in your sweepstakes, and what's the contest?
So the person that wins. So this is all obviously okay. We're going really, really 90s hard. So
Good.
the kid that wins this competition gets to do that old Nickelodeon Super Toy Run thing where they like run through the store trying to grab as many toys as they can and put it into a shopping cart.
Through the now bankrupt Toys R Us?
Yes, through the now bankrupt Toys R Us. But since this is all silver themed, they aren't allowed to use their hands. Their hands have to stay on the cart, and instead they have a gigantic helmet with huge silver the Hedgehog plush hair, but then there's also wavy PVC pipes that kind of radiate out like it's supposed to be fake telekinetic powers, and the kids have to use their heads to knock the toys into the cart. It's impossible, and they're also probably going to hurt their necks, but it's all the announcers yelling that, you know, little Timmy's using the power of his mind to like move these toys into the carts. The best part though is for kids to get chosen, we have an elite sponsorship, or I guess a partnership with Wheaties, using the tagline, "Feed your mind to be the best." And we're having people buy Wheaties under some very loose 90s legal terminology that doesn't say that Wheaties will give you telekinetic powers, but gets really close to saying
But it
it.
doesn't say Wheaties won't give you
Yeah.
telekinetic powers.
Yeah.
either.
It's like it's really fast and loose 90s shit. And so every box of Wheaties that you buy, kids have to mail in the UPC codes using real envelopes with real stamps through the real post office, just like 1992, to enter this contest.
So a winner is going to be picked like 2.5 years after the movie comes out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then 10 people who don't win will also be given Xtreme skate helmets with Silver the Hedgehog plush hair. It is 4 feet wide and tall.
All right. That actually,
I'm the best.
That actually sounds really fun. I really like that. Matt, what do you got for us? Tell us about your sweepstakes giveaway.
It's gonna be the most extreme sweepstakes giveaway
Extreme
of all
gear.
time. So, extreme gear is in. It's gonna be extreme gear with a big old X. Here we go. So, imagine this: open TikTok video, Twitter video, YouTube video, whatever,
I hate it already.
viral video, short viral video. We see the legs of Jet the Hawk, but it's actually just like a guy with green socks and Jet the Hawk shoes. But it's like the legs of Jet the Hawk, and they're riding in extreme gear in a very real, very like actual skate park, and we're gonna CGI out the wheels of the skateboard so it looks like an actual extreme gear. And they're gonna do a really sick kickflip, and they're gonna ride 50-50 down a really sick rail, and then they're gonna do some other cool skateboarding move. It's been a long time since I played Tony Hawk Pro Skater. A Benihana, that's a thing I remember. They're gonna do a Benihana and a pop shove it, and then boom, smash cut, fade out. It's not Jet the Hawk riding that extreme gear. It's Tony Hawk riding that extreme gear. And Tony Hawk and Birdhouse have teamed up with Paramount for the Jet the Hawk Extreme Gear giveaway, where you upload your sickest extreme gear trick to the internet using the hashtag, I didn't get this far in the branding, using the hashtag JetXTonyHawk, I don't know. And
Tony the Hawk. Tony the Hawk feels really natural and
Tony the
not
Hawk,
as
yeah.
terrible
yeah,
as the other
yeah,
one. you did.
hashtag Jet the Tony sweepstakes.
Hashtag
And so you're
Tony.
gonna
Hashtag Tony Hawk definitely didn't do it with a bunch of birds.
So hashtag you upload your video with hashtag Jet the Tony sweepstakes, and whoever uploads the most sickest extreme gear trick is gonna get sent to them a very real, very actual, very super real extreme gear board that is definitely just a prop that you hang on your wall and cannot actually be ridden and doesn't actually hover. That's in the small print at the bottom of the screen. Also, Paramount and Birdhouse not liable for anybody who gets injured trying to do extreme gear tricks. But the winner gets a really sick extreme gear, and then 15 runners up are gonna get little extreme gear tech decks, and they're gonna be signed, and we're gonna tell them they're signed, and they're gonna think it's signed by Tony Hawk, but it's not. It's gonna be signed by Jet the Hawk, because that's the movie we're doing. Tiny extreme gear tech decks signed by Jet the Hawk with no wheels, so you can't do any cool tech deck things with them. Jet the Tony giveaway.
Two things, Matt.
Yes.
This is very 90s. Well, one, this
You're
is very
right.
90s because that was about, I guess, the apex of people posting videos of themselves doing really stupid stuff and getting hurt on the internet was like coming out of the 90s.
Uh-huh.
And so like this harbors that energy very well, where lots of people are going to get hurt for this competition.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to get hurt, but I need you to remember a very specific advertising campaign. Do you guys remember Flywheels? Is that doing anything
No.
for
That
anybody?
sounds
I had to-
familiar.
That name rings a
No.
bell, but I could not tell you what a flywheel is.
Yeah, so I had to Google what they're called because I didn't remember either. Flywheels are kind of like Beyblades, except they're car tires.
Oh, that's
and
right.
you put them on this handle and you rip the stick and then they fly.
Oh.
It's
No, they don't
Yeah.
fly. They roll forward like a wheel.
Yeah,
until
well, I
hit.
mean, they roll, they fly like wheels do. And there was a ramp, and the
They
whole
glide.
thing of the
They don't
advertising
fly, they
campaign.
glide.
The whole thing of this advertising campaign was that you could use a flywheel and hit this flywheel ramp and jump over an airplane. Does anybody else remember this? Is this just a me
I
thing?
do, because I
No.
also remember that the way they advertised it was it like they reached relative speeds of 400 miles an hour, which meant
I do remember that.
which,
Yes.
which meant like if it were a real sized wheel going as fast as the flywheel is, it would be going 400 miles an hour. But it's this big, so it's only going like 15.
Yeah. Yep. So it's going to be exactly like that advertising campaign. We're going to show Tony the Jet the Hawk doing these crazy extreme gear tricks, and then people are going to try and replicate them, but we're going to put on the advertisement that we're not liable for any injuries. You have to sign a waiver and send that waiver in with your video.
The other thing that I was going to say, Matt, is I really wish the winner got a legitimate functioning high-powered hoverboard, because that seems like just the kind of uncontrolled chaos energy of the 90s, where like you give some 8-year-old this like overpowered hoverboard.
And just wait for him to definitely not get
Oh,
injured.
yeah.
Give an 8-year-old a green goblin glider is essentially what Todd is proposing right now.
Yep.
Andrew, what about your
Sure.
your 90s sweepstakes giveaway?
Yeah, so one thing that every 90s kid has in common is they have to deal with gravity every day. Gravity is a very real thing. So
It's the great equalizer, some
If-
say.
if anti-Sonic is the radder version of Sonic, then one could say anti-gravity is the radder version of gravity. And what better way to experience anti-gravity than moon shoes?
Boy.
So at any participating Taco Bell, you as a '90s kid are eligible to win the Scourge the Hedgehog sick anti-gravity rad 90s extreme sweepstakes giveaway. Every third, if you buy an extra large Baja Blast, you get one of those 2 stamps that could give you a chance to win the Moon Shoes, but will probably just give you a free Choco Taco.
I mean, free Choco Taco is a pretty good consolation prize.
I would actually take a Choco Taco over Moon Shoes while 32, but that's obviously it's not targeted to me. And much like the McDonald's Monopoly campaign was a stroke of evil genius, this too will be a similar villainous act, whereas no one actually wins the Moon Shoes because the Moon Shoes don't exist. It's trying to follow along the same format as
the Boardwalk Park Place catch, where everyone gets a boardwalk piece, but Park Place exists like in the back of McDonald's warehouse somewhere.
No, while we're talking about this right now, have you guys watched McMillions, the documentary?
It's literally queued up on my HBO now. I just haven't watched it yet.
We can't talk more about it right now because I'll go into a fever dream over it, but it talks about what you just said, Kyle.
I know. I need to watch it.
Organized crime was running the Monopoly game.
Well, this too disguised as Moon Shoes.
All right. These are way better sweepstakes giveaways than movies you pitched, guys. But that's not what we're doing today. So Paramount is gonna think over everything you brought to us, like they always do. So while they're in their back offices, before they go to their back offices, I'm sorry, give us your last words before they close up and decide.
So in true Silver fashion, Silver would just leave you with a quote that says, "Thanks to our efforts, this movie will be a success." Also, The Rock mocap is a 7-foot purple cat, Kevin Hart to scale.
Matt. No. Yeah, Matt. Matt is second, and Andrew is third today. I'm tired, guys.
In place of my concluding statement, I would simply like to issue a correction. Earlier in this episode, I said that I Stand Alone was my favorite Godsmack song, and it is not. It is their cover of Rocky Mountain Way. Also, When Legends Rise. That's the end of my conclusion. Thanks.
Thanks for clearing that up.
And Andrew.
Also, in lieu of a formal closing statement, I'd like to list off the rest of the Destructics, which are also all Mega Man X bosses.
Andrew, the board recognizes your decision to cede the rest of your time. And
Thank you. Thank you. So we've got, in no particular order, Predator Hawk, Sergeant Simeon, Drago Wolf, Fiona Fox, Flying Frog, Sleuth Dog, and Lightning Lynx.
Sleuth Dog sounds like a cheap beer.
I was just gonna say Sleuth Dog is like the knockoff to Brewdog branding beer.
You're gonna say Scruff McGruff the Crime Dog.
See, I was gonna say Sleuth Dog sounds like one of Jesse Pinkman's like stoner friends in Breaking Bad.
He looks like he just got broken out of jail. He's like, Sleuth Dog's like not fucking around.
Sleuth Dog is the special edition beer that Brewdog puts out for a true crime podcast that they're launching.
There it is. We got it.
All right. So with that, Paramount has now gone into behind closed doors to make their decision. So while they're there, guys, do some good vibes. Say some nice things about each other. If you can. If there are any nice things to say today.
Boy, guys, there's a reason why B-list characters just stay B-list characters, I think. And we did a real podcast today to try and do this. Matt, I actually really like Jet the Hawk. I think Jet the Hawk's a cool character. I first knew about Jet the Hawk, I believe, from Sonic Riders. I think that's where Jet the Hawk showed up.
Yep.
And I remember seeing Jet the Hawk on the cover of the game and I was like, wow, that's actually super, super cool. The whole people boning birds and black holes and rings to power their
we don't
planet-sized
really need it.
spaceship. That's a lot. I don't. It seems to me again one more time that they made a cool character and like, well, I guess we gotta explain what happened here, and they couldn't have just, not done that. But no, I like Jet the Hawk. I think that's a good character, and I think aside from the weird things about Babylonians, it was great what you did today.
I'll take that.
Andrew, if you take the nice things that I said to Matt and then take them out, that's what I have to say to you. Scourge the Hedgehog is an affront to all things that I love. No one asked for Scourge the Hedgehog. In fact, the fact that there had been an evil Sonic and then an anti-Sonic and then Scourge the Hedgehog, which is great because the quote at the top of the Scourge the Hedgehog wiki, evil Sonic, anti-Sonic, old news, the new hotness is a real scourge. That's a quote that he said at one point in time that came out of his stupid hedgehog mouth. I value the work that you put into completely fleshing out this terrible thing you brought us today. It's got a real, I want to say it's got a real Thunderbolts vibe, but I'm kind of getting Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's bad.
I'll take it.
But maybe once the first movie doesn't do well, maybe it'll relaunch and be better, because that's kind of what they're trying to do now.
It's got big Birds of Prey energy.
Okay, yeah, Todd, I don't remember you answering the third question, so I'm just gonna go off your first two questions that you answered.
My third question introduced Gary Busey.
That's why you don't remember it.
That's
That's why I don't remember it. Yeah, that's weird.
I too
It's
like to
weird.
forget all things in my life that are associated with Gary Busey.
So positive things about you, Todd. You brought Big the Cat here, and there's something to be said for that. Also, you referenced Sonic 06 like it's a real game that can actually be referenced, and not a fever dream that we all at once had together as a collective society, which until today I believed that it was. Andrew, similar to what Todd said.
Yeah.
Those same things. In all seriousness, though, I like Scourge. Scourge is really good.
It's so stupid.
Like, it looks terrible, but
Yeah.
it's like the right kind of terrible. Like when we kind of came up with this question of like, what are we gonna do for the 50th episode? I don't know. Let's do terrible Sonic characters again. And we unleashed the pantheon to. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be the Chaotix. It doesn't have to be. It can be whoever. And you said, guys, Scourge the Hedgehog. The minute I clicked on that wiki link, I lost my shit.
It's so stupid and amazing.
It's so ridiculous. And the fact that he's got the leather jacket with like those two bullshit straps that don't matter,
Right.
and that the like sleeves are frayed, it's
Yeah.
so good.
It's some Tetsuya Nomura bullshit right there.
yeah.
Scourge is this weird thing where like it was definitely a trope in like the late 80s, early 90s to do the nega version of your hero
Yeah.
character. Like
Yeah, it
Captain
absolutely was.
Captain Planet had Captain Pollution. You had Bizarro for Superman. Just
Yeah, it was Bizarro. Everybody was just
Yeah.
doing Bizarro.
But
Yeah.
Sonic isn't like your squeaky clean goody two shoes kind of hero that needs a nega version. So trying to make the nega version of the like extreme cool character gives you
Right.
Scourge the Hedgehog.
Well, that's what makes it weird because he's already a foil. Like he was made
Yeah.
to be a foil of Sonic or of Mario.
Yeah,
So it's
exactly.
like, yeah, like an evil version of Sonic is just like more.
which like if they
Yeah.
were gonna do that, they should have done it and had their version of Mario actually exist and be the negative version. But
Another thing too, just because everything is, cyclical and happens over and over again. Metal Scourge is a thing. Dr. Robotnik
No,
made
certainly
a,
is.
No,
a
it's
Metal
not.
Shut up.
Scourge.
He certainly is a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You shut
Anyway.
your stupid mouth.
Yeah. Metal Scourge is green and also has the sunglasses and
Oh,
he's got flame.
no!
He's got flame decals on him.
Oh, it's so bad.
I'm deep in the lore, and apparently the fearsome foursome, which was the start to this.
Reported to Mammoth Mogul. I
Oh
was just
no!
gonna bring this
It
up.
all goes
Yep.
full circle again.
It all connects. It all connects.
I hate it.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right. serving as the
Oh.
mogul's quote dumb muscle.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, well that's
Um,
all I have. Go ahead, Andrew.
Todd, I really like Silver as a concept, not as an execution.
Yep.
He's the idea behind him was like, let's do like a, let's basically he's future Trunks, right? Like he's Trunks from DBZ, and like he is the Trunks to Sonic's Goku, and it's like, okay, let's bring like a cool, like serious, OP character from the future, but he just kind of ended up being like kind of a boner. Because that game is just not great.
No.
But I like the idea of bringing Silver into the canon, and it actually, like, of all the crappy B-list characters, that one probably makes the most sense because Silver is like the most actual like fleshed out foil to Sonic, right? Because he is, when you think about it, like he's the serious one. He's like no nonsense, where Sonic's like chili dogs. Like that is more of a foil than just like a leather jacket and sunglasses.
Yeah.
You know.
I will never get enough of Andrew's Sonic the Hedgehog impression either.
But very good pick, Matt. What did you pick again? You had
Jet the Hawk. I had Jet the Hawk.
Fucking Jet the Hawk.
Sean Astin in a
the Sean Astin bit
that's
is
what
my
keeps
favorite.
coming
I
back
think
to mind, but he did
Sean
Jet the Hawk.
Sean Astin in that mesh suit, or playing the albatross character, the gray Big the cat, is very, very good. Just a really good pick. If you hadn't picked Jet the Hawk, I definitely would have gone with one of the Babylon rogues because they're like C. If chaotics are C tier, they're D tier. So well done, both of you, and happy 50, guys.
Yeah.
More
happy
Yeah.
happy 50, and to at least 50 more.
At least.
All right. So the Paramount has made their decision. They're all filing out of their boardroom and looking very judgmental and concerned.
One of us is getting a good answer. The other two are getting horse heads in our bed.
Truth.
So the good news is they are going to use all the characters that you guys brought today. You're not all necessarily getting movie deals, but
Or
like,
paid.
you made good arguments for the characters, and they will be included in the Sonic cinematic universe, because we've got 10 years of movies to flesh out here.
Yeah. That was quite the contract that we signed.
So to start, Andrew, they are not going to make a Scourge the Hedgehog movie
course
at
not.
this point in time.
That would be silly.
No,
because
certainly not.
because of course they aren't. However, when they get to the Guardians of the Galaxy stage, there will be Scourge the Hedgehog Easter eggs hidden all in the background of whatever movie that ends up being.
That's all I need is my collector nod. That's it.
So from there, Matt, they are not making a Jet the Hawk movie at this time. However, they have decided Jet the Hawk is going to play a minor role in the overarching movie, or in the overarching cinematic universe, because they really like the tie-in merchandising options of Xtreme gear, and a blue hawk or a green hawk is pretty cool. What really drove them away, though, was that they didn't want to make a 2.5-hour slog fest of a movie explaining the Babylon Rogues history, because, good lord, that's a nightmare.
They'll have to revisit that one. They'll give that the Eternals treatment if we're doing anything now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that feels right. I'm okay with
Like,
this.
so,
This feels
so
right.
Jet the Hawk and they're seeing about getting Storm the Albatross in, so that they can get Sean Astin into a silly costume, because they really want to get Sean Astin into a silly costume. They really
Don't
liked,
all of us want to get Sean Astin into a silly
they
costume,
really,
Kyle?
really, really liked that part of your pitch. So that leaves us with Todd. You will be getting your Silver the Hedgehog movie deal today.
Two trilogies, right? Standalone.
Absolutely not.
They'll hash that out with you, but no, not two trilogies.
No character has ever needed 6 movies. At you, Fast and the Furious.
No.
Got him.
They really liked the very like stoic stick in the mud Hedgehog to be the opposite to Sonic's wholesome snarkiness, and they think that'll play really well with the kids when Silver, sorry, gives a very grim description of why he had to come from the future, and Sonic and they cut to Sonic and he's got a mouthful of chili dogs with like a hot dog hanging out of his mouth or something. They just someone threw that storyboard panel up on the wall in their meeting and they're like, sold, make the movie. Why isn't it made already? So congratulations, Todd. You are our winner today.
That makes me like 1 for 50, so I'll take that.
Yeah. Congratulations. Take your win and squirrel it away for the hard times when you don't win any.
I'll put it on my shelf next to my other 2 wins.
So, thanks everyone for listening to Debate This. Follow along with the argument on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at DebateThisCast. You check out our website at debatethiscast.com. And if you like what you hear, please leave us a review so more people can hear our nerdy, dumb show, and so we can hopefully do 50 more episodes. Thank you, everyone, for sticking with us through 50 episodes. We appreciate.
Seriously, thank you.
It's appreciated.
We appreciate your listenership and look forward to giving you more episodes in the future. So until next time, I'm Kyle Harper.
I'm Todd. Sleuth Dog is a bit too hoppy for my liking, Thomas.
I'm Matt. Tony the Jet the Hawk. Board. Cole.
And I'm Andrew. Just want to remind you all that Scourge the Hedgehog's main nemesis is a kind veteran trying to cure a bunny rabbit of AIDS. Henderson.
Is that your nickname in college, was it?
Sure was.
That was right off the tongue.
Yep.
Thank you all for debating with us. And if you think we're wrong, you can come fight us behind the swing sets, nerds.
They would announce that as Andrew would come onto the football field in high school.